everybody. As we get started in this Sunday morning live, I will be on until about 10:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we'll get a good 55 minutes together, but I do have an obligation. I want to go to church. It starts at 11. So I've got to leave my house by no later than about 10:45, 10:50. So we're going to do an exceptional analysis here. It's going to be even better because all of us are going to be together. I don't know how many people will be here this morning, but I can say I'm very thrilled about not just the way the community is coming together, but the plan that we have put into place with the XXX Haas strategy. I was very excited about all of the updates I was able to put out yesterday. I was able to put out a short with HBAR, was able to put out a short with XRP, a couple of them, XLM, XDC. We also did 2 lives. Was able to put out an extreme amount of content on Facebook as far as the writings and things like that we can go over in here as well. So I'm just very overall pleased, not at the movement in the market, but the effort we've been putting in to stay ahead of the market. I'm getting some, insulting comments as well. Somebody called me numbnuts because he said I put the wording backwards, and it's like, well, here's your sign. It's coming through the front of the tablet or my phone. So it's naturally inverted. So, before you call somebody a numbnuts, maybe you shouldn't be a dope when you comment. That's part of the thing, but that's neither here nor there. It actually made me laugh this morning. I'm like, ooh, numbnuts. I haven't been called that in a long time. It made me laugh for some reason this morning. A lot of criticism from people saying, oh, he just gives the same analysis every day, which is hilarious. I mean, it would seem like that from the outside looking in if you're not actually paying attention. But you know what ends up happening? Those people get madder and madder as the price goes up and up. The bottom line is there was easy money to be made here. It's just easy money. And we've been out in front of this for not just days, but weeks and months, years. And it's not because of me. It's because of this whole audience. This whole audience helps us stay engaged, helps us stay thinking forward. Last night in the 60-second short, I talked about $2.12. That would be an area of resistance support that we need to hold, get over it. And I anticipated if we do break over this, we'll come up to about $2.18 first, then come back down and back test. We talked about this yesterday. This is basically what I see if we do end up in a wave 4 expansion, which it seems like we're trying to validate now. And then we were to come back down and contract. This is how it would happen. I have not done a 60-second short yet this morning. I decided to do the live first because I have to go to church, so I didn't want to waste time. I have no idea how many people are watching right now. I've decided in my own mind, don't look at the comments for the first 15 minutes. Let it settle how it's going to settle. I started at 9:50, so about 10:05 I'll take a look, see how many people showed up. But I think this will run in a more smooth fashion. Good morning. 9:55 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Sunday, January 4th, 2025. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. And I really do thank everybody for tuning in. I could not do this without all of you, nor would it be as fun. Would it be as transparent? Would I have all the information that I have? Now, this morning, of course, the USA is waking up. Now we need to see if we get some more downward volatility. But like with HBAR, the technical move here that we set up yesterday is not filled. That move should be about 13.386 cents if this plays appropriate. Does it play appropriate? Do we backtest? Does it come down? Who knows? But that's what we're going to watch this morning. We've got XRP. Brilliant. It's beautiful to see it. Up another $700 for us this morning. And I like to talk in those contexts of 10,000 tokens. If you don't understand my strategy, read the hat. XRP, XLM, XDC, HBAR, ALGO, the XXX Haas strategy 2026. And it's going to remain this way for the entirety of the year. I'm not going outside myself. I don't care what other tokens do. Do I have other tokens that sit for eternity? I do. There's XRP Healthcare, as you know, for anybody who's new. There's Epic and there's VeChain that just sit. Other than that, they're not part of my buy and sell plan. They just sit there and I go down with the ship on crypto.com with Epic. VeChain, I'm going to be able to move over to KRAKEN now, which is awesome. So just one less thing I have to have on crypto.com in storage. And KRAKEN I like because it has fire blocks. And if you don't know what that is, instead of it being like a wallet that they create separately and then end up, having all these problems, it's actually a digital receipt as long as you're validated and verified. And the good thing about KRAKEN is nobody can get around it after February 1st, the loophole of the no KYC. And most people in the U.S. couldn't get around it. Like I couldn't get around it on KRAKEN in Michigan to begin with, but some people could for some reason. So that's ending. So a lot of people are going to have to deal with that. So just be knowledgeable. A lot of new rules and regulations with crypto. But my focus here this morning is to see if we do end up having any kind of retracement or if we push out first because of the 2 hourly. You can see with XRP, a little bit of a reversal candle. 4 hourly is beautifully engulfing, came up to the resistance perfectly. So now what we start to look at here is because we've broken out so perfectly out of this pattern. I mean, we've done everything we could to tailor-made this for the community. If you're still having problems, I encourage you, join Tom's Army, get into the Telegram. It is so electrifying and fire. Like, all my content is here, so you don't have to wonder. I have my pager section where I talk about this. I share so much stuff. I've expanded that whole section. We have the Technical Lounge with Nick Morales. Furby trades in the YouTube if he shows up today. He's a very hard worker. He works a lot outside of this and his normal job. So much information on here. So much information. We've got the Community Hub, which we talk. We got that. We got the Technical Lounge. We got the pager. Don't forget about this section with MQ. He's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant. Him and Nick absolutely have turned this into a place of fire with everybody else who engages with us. I have no doubt in my mind that our community in 2026, we're going to change lives like we have the last couple of years. But I sent Defined a message last night, and even this is beyond my wildest dreams, guys. Yes, could I do this alone and guide the ship like I did for several years? Absolutely. But having the minds that we have together, this doesn't happen by accident. This happens because a group of people have similar mindsets, and despite being through the bearish zone for about a year, we stuck our heads together and we said, okay, this is where we need to go. This is what we need to do. And notice the last week and a half, what have I switched to? Bullish. Very, very bullish. Because we have that 3 to 5 week window in wave 4 where I firmly believe that this plays out like it should, and it is right now. That we had an opportunity at $1.81 for XRP. We pointed it out, and $1.77 was our low for that wave. We pointed out the opportunity with HBAR and ALGO and XDC and XLM and XRP. But we also talked about the new day opportunity because XRP we bought at 34 cents, 38 cents, some of you at 50 and 60 and 80. But there's other great opportunities out here, and I want to make sure in 2026 this community, life changes. Do I charge you for all the content? Nope. Do I make you come out of pocket? Absolutely not. None of this costs anything. Now, if you want to join my classes that I'll be starting, you'll hear a lot about it tomorrow. But you'll hear about it a lot through the subsection, through the Telegram. I'll mention it briefly on here and share links in all the lives. But if you decide to take the classes and you want to be a part of it twice a week with me for an hour a day, 8 times a month, 8 hours a month, for about 6 to 7 months, but it's going to be a running, steady ship. And then it's just going to continue. So you don't have to stay with it. I'm just going to keep doing it. I'm very steadfast. So I'll stay very dedicated. I was going to do it at a different site on Zoom. I've got job proposals from different financial analyst positions. And I decided instead of taking another job, because my son's special needs after all. He's nonverbal. He's autistic. He's had a lot of injuries. His legs pretty screwed up from a very bad car accident when he was 6 months old where he broke his femur, had head trauma. So my goal, I'm 42. I'm working until I'm 67 for him. So I have to do something outside of myself. So I'm going to start teaching classes, and that will be a vendetta that I'm going to keep building over the next couple of decades. And whether it stays in the finance of crypto or through all other markets, which it will be, it's okay by me. I'm starting from the ground up. We're going from the extreme basic of, if you don't know how to open a phone, you're going to learn how to open the phone. You're going to know what to download. You're going to know what to do from the ground up, every step of the way, from the very beginner, and you're going to become the most advanced version of yourself you've ever seen. And that's my guarantee to you, if you have faith in me. So that's my venture coming up. And it's something that I'm doing so that I can not take any of my time away from this community. And I don't want to do another job outside of what I'm good at. So, and I don't want to go work for some company. That's the bottom line. I don't want to work for another company. I don't want to be a paid advertiser. I don't want to do stuff like that. I want to do what I know. So if you want to support the cause, you can support the cause. If not, you'll be here every single day. And this is not going to change at all. So let's get into this, though. Let's get into this. I appreciate everybody tuning in, but we are short on time. So 91,300 for Bitcoin, up $709, 0.75% on the day. Everything is going pretty spectacularly. We're in through this fair value gap zone. I aimed it at 93,373 inside of this box. That's the technical run-up can get us up there. We've also got to look at 93,071 because once you break outside of this, now you open up the push that gets us closer to that rising wedge breakdown, which we'll have to look at this chart. Bear with me. If you're new, you're going to want to see all of this if you're new, I promise you, because you're not going to want to miss any of this information. That's a rising wedge. If we come up there and properly reject, that's what's going to signal us back down for a wave 5 if we do this appropriately. This is also what can get us out for XRP back up to that 260 area. If this plays out, and if it plays appropriately, that's when you would see another 15, 20, 25% across the board on every single one of your alts. We've seen some great movement so far. We have 7% on IOTA, 6% on ALGO. We have 3.58% on HBAR. XDC's behind, which we knew. It's usually behind a little bit. We talked about how XLM versus XRP in the pairing was in a much better spot than XDC. And it wasn't because XDC was going to continue to fall. It's just it wasn't going to move as fast. So look, the XDC XRP pairing is down 4.72% versus XRP. Only down about 3.2% in price, but it's still an expansion farther away. XRP's beautifully over $2.09. Question for everybody as well this morning is I'm very laser focused. Don't know if you can tell. What did you think about the 60-second shorts yesterday? And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I've been expanding that, and all you have to do is go into the playlist. I made it very simple. 94 people, I'll be damned. I made it very simple. XRP TA in 60 seconds. I went back to my birthday on December 17th, and I put everything in it organized since then because this is our new routine. So the lives are there. There's 29 of them, even though I have 6,000 something videos. There's 29 of the XRP TA in 60-second shorts, XLM TA in 60-second shorts, HBAR TA in 60-second shorts, XDC TA in 60-second shorts. As you can see, the new programming is starting, and it's very subtle. The only thing you're going to notice is a lot more content. In 2026, I'm trying to be more direct. Even if you listen to my openings yesterday for the TAs in 60-second, a lot different, the way it sounded. A lot of positive feedback that I've been putting through my brain, and the right feedback gets incorporated, and I really, really appreciate the ones who aren't afraid to speak the constructive criticism. Even if it's not criticism, it's constructive, and it helps you think a little bit deeper on what everybody might like while staying true to yourself. So with that all being said, very exciting times. Super excited to be here with all of you. I haven't looked at the comments yet, but I will by about 10:10, I promise. I think this is a much better way to get through the information initially. And I noticed that there was like 85, 90 people in there when I went through and showed you that little screen. So thank you all so much for that vote of confidence on this Sunday morning. The 4 pillars of success in this community are defined by one thing in 4 different areas. Faith, that there's something greater than yourself, our higher power. Compassion for not only each other, for ourselves, and every other thing wandering around us. Integrity, because if you have integrity, you're going to put everybody else before yourself, and you're going to do it with the moral compass. And love. If we define these things by love, we can't lose. Love is the universal energy that helps us push forward and together. So, yeah. So I really appreciate that part of things. XRP versus the Bitcoin pairing is looking absolutely stellar right now. We do need to get past this large resistance at 0.0002402. And once that breaks out, we can outperform. Inflation. That's all we're trying to do in 26. We're just trying to stay ahead of the rate of return of inflation and then some. We powered past it in 25. 26 is going to bring its whole new dynamic. Remember what I said about January of 25 when we were there? Time to sell all of our crypto, 75%. Right? Remember this? The crucifixion I received 1 year ago. Why I sold 75% of my crypto and turned focus to gold, silver, and mining stocks. Now, in 2026, why my attention has turned from gold, silver, and mining stocks back to cryptocurrency. The same spot that mining stocks and gold were at in the undervalued state is the exact spot crypto was at to start the new year. And we were super excited about it. Super excited. We talked about it in the community that to start this year, we're going to get a little expansion in the portfolio, and you can do with it what you will. So it's really, really cool. It's really, really cool. But I've actually tried to grow and adapt a lot behind the scenes, and watching my content back from yesterday, I was really happy, except the live yesterday. Last night it was a good live, calm, composed, but I kind of sounded like I was a little down in the live, which, you know, that's just the way it goes sometimes when things are going the way they go. But in the earlier live, I was happy with the way it went, except the first like 15 minutes. I thought I was a little bit too constructive. So, you know, you do your own constructive criticism, but at the end of the day, the information was on point. The shorts really helped, not just, I think, the audience, but myself as well, to stay informed. So that's something that I want. So I just turned the comments on. I wanted to see how many people were in here, and I wanted to see what everybody was saying. 91 people in here on this beautiful morning as we give thanks to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Yahweh, Yeshua, in layman's, Jesus Christ for the United States. But it's Yahweh, Yeshua. We ask God for his continued guidance in this great community. As more than one of us speaks the name of our Lord and Savior, God has become present in this beautiful, beautiful setting as we give glory to God and thanks for allowing us all to be here. Some people leave when I talk about our Lord and Savior, but, you know, we're all vessels and we're supposed to speak the name, but you're supposed to speak and preach, but not conform somebody to your beliefs. So you speak it proudly, truthfully, and you let the chips fall where they may. And that's what we did this morning. So let's get through the comments. Jay Fremix, good morning, along with Rob Clement, Jay Bryson, Happy New Year. Pooza's, Mallow Legacy, and I don't know how else I could have nailed this any deeper. I've literally gave you guys the blueprint to trade for free. All you have to do is come in here every single day. I don't sugarcoat it. I'm on point because I study this like no other. I don't take breaks. I don't care if it's Christmas, New Year's, if I'm in the hot. I don't care what the case may be. I do not take a break. Ever. I never shut off my brain. It's not allowed. It won't shut off. So it's good to put it into this category. My Yard Now. Dan Marginal. Bright Future Freedom. Thanks for being in Tom's Army for 3+ months with the XOP Meteors. Frankie Fresh, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XRP Predictor. Janine, I hope you're having a beautiful and fantastic Sunday. Your love and support has really given me another insight into just how important it is to do this from the standpoint of togetherness. You know, because there's just a lot of things. There's just a lot of things. Kirsten, good morning with Crazy Pole, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. Lori, good morning, love. Thank you so much for continuing to tune in and support this channel. Alex Carbonelli, good morning. Wow, the Lord got 10% of you to leave. That's interesting. 1970 Legend, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. And thanks for being very trusted mod in here in the Telegram, 1970 Legend. And also, I seen 10 gifted subs from you. That was extremely generous. Bounce Back and Drohaz, welcome back into Tom's Army for 3+ months with the XRP Meteors. Nina, Gary Steely, Marcus, Beadfoot, Rejuvenated, Cash Martin, and Charles Tomarello. Congratulations on getting your 2nd month emoji badges of me being the Dusty's Outhouse Crypto News. And Timat, congratulations on getting the month one badge of me being abducted by aliens. And that is my face superimposed on that emoji badge. I kid not. Hi, also harder than you, and Annie, good morning to both of you. Crypto Cooter, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. I mean, over 6 months with the XRP Predictor. Crypto Cooter, I apologize. And thanks for being a very trusted mod in here in the Telegram. Good morning, Tom. Hope all is well. I love your hat, Janine. Oh, thank you, Janine. I think it's awesome, too. Julie got me it for Christmas, and it's just awesome. Just awesome. I've definitely utilized it in the best way I can. So we always thank Julie for that. Let's see. Maple Man, good morning, and thanks for being in town during 3+ months with the XRP Meteor with my yard. Now, thank you for saying great shorts. I appreciate that. And they're not talking about my shorts I'm wearing, because I'm not wearing shorts. Too cold. Like Julie said. John Allen, welcome in. Salah, Houdin. Hey, Tom, what's the next target for ALGO? We will take a look at that very next thing we look at after I say hello to everybody. Just for you, my friend. And good morning. Philip, good morning. Lonzo, welcome in, and thanks for being in town during the first month with the emoji badge and me being abducted by aliens. Says SHX is moving off of only 1 million in volume. Excellent. Doesn't need a lot to move it, that's for sure. XRP John Hall, good morning. I think that's everybody. We caught up. We caught up. Crypto Cooter said I should have the 1 year badge. I think YouTube froze my badge. I thought you'd been on that 6-month badge for a very long time. I'm not sure what's going on there, but I appreciate it nonetheless. I'm so glad Janine's watching too. See, I like it. We got a nice group this morning. In 1970 legend, the Big Ten's hope, it can't be on Ohio State this year or Michigan, but we still have Oregon and Indiana, 2 teams that very well could win this title, since one of them is going to be in the championship. But Ohio State can't win it every year, and I know the fans of Columbus are pissed off right now, but you can't win it every year. You beat Michigan this year, you won the title last year. So, Sharon Moore, you beat Sharon, I am the molester more, or Sharon, I am the adulteress more, or Sharon, I am calling hookers during the Ohio State game more, or Sharon, I can't keep my dick in my pants more. Any way you want to call them, I hated him from the signing. I hated him from the start. I've been preaching it for 2 years that I hate that guy. Horrible hire, especially when you're at an elite level. And we got what we deserved. But now we have Kyle Whittingham, and I'm very excited. Very excited. So anyhow, let's get past Sharon, the no integrity filled more. Sharon should be behind the cell more, is what we should call him. But anyhow, I digress. XDC versus XRP down 4.6% in the pairing, which is phenomenal. I know some people are like, what do you mean? Phenomenal. It's setting up for its next move as everything else is making its move. So if you looked at it versus XRP, assuming we don't break this down, which we shouldn't, that's almost like a descending, got downtrending support, downtrending resistance. Could call it a descending triangle. I don't necessarily think that's wedgy, unless it's a descending wedge. If that's the case, it's super bullish as well. Yeah. I think versus XRP, this is contracting again for another movement. While everything else is on the opposed. I like when XDC is opposed to the rest. Even though it's had a little bit of a pullback here, back up 1.35%. Doesn't seem like a lot. But it's actually done a remarkable job correcting itself today. Look at this. Beautiful back test of the breakout. Came to the resistance perfectly to our technical first move up. Back tested the move. Now it's trying to straighten itself out. If it gets back over this 5.45 cents and gets into that liquidity box, but on the top side of it, we're game on. We are game on. And it's going to be a pretty spectacular thing when this happens. But I drew that liquidity box myself up here because that's going to be... You're going to see either a lot of distribution back out like we did initially, or you're going to see expansion through, and that's going to be a lot of buyers join that area. That's a very, 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 very big area of concern, but neither here nor there. I want to go to ALGO like I promised. I just had to cover those 2 things because I forgot. ALGO's up 5.86% on the day at 13.54 cents. Beautifully running through our zones. Yesterday we talked about 14 cents. Which we've come up into that area now. Actually, I think we've come up to that first area now, actually, perfectly. Let's draw this out together. I said I would once we expanded out yesterday. But we were trying to stay dedicated to the initial breakout. And we've back tested perfectly at 10.5, expanded back out. Weekly reversal. The weeklies look absolutely fire this week. It just looks fire this week. Everybody should not be devastated this week. Everybody should be so damn happy right now. I pounded the table yesterday. I said, not worrying for a few days. And I even said, I'm going to pound the table because everybody was so worried. We even had the fear and greed index yesterday go from 27, I believe it was, to 25. I was so happy. Yeah, it went from 29 to 25. Beautiful. I couldn't have set that up better. So with price expansion, retail was afraid. Believe it or not. With price contraction, retail was greedy. Go figure that one out. Go figure that one out. If you are watching, make sure that like button, 77% of you have already hit that like button this morning. That's a great percentage. It's a great percentage. Cannabis Podcast, welcome in and thank you for your due diligence when it comes to holistic healing through the beautiful plant of cannabis. Despite all the bad things people say, you kept it real, and I think you've enlightened a lot of people on your YouTube channel. It's almost up to 600 subscribers. I know it's been a couple weeks since your last content, but generally I've noticed you put out a piece or two every single month, and I've seen a couple of them got pretty popular, so I'm very proud to see that. I don't pay attention to CoinMarketCap, to be honest with you. It's very fudded. The only one I pay attention to is alternative.now, or alternative.me. It's the most accurate one, just going back in the history. CoinMarketCap is always all over the place on the CMC. So I like to stay here. We'll see it again in 8 hours and 40 minutes. But this is the one that's been most direct for me, just from my own personal experience. Now let's take a look at the Bitcoin long and short ratios while we have some time here this morning. We still got plenty of time this morning before I gotta go to church. We're cooking this morning. We're cooking this morning. Oh, I appreciate that, Cannabis Podcast. I've learned so much. I love how you went through the Tetra and the new regulations too in one of your past videos. I can't remember if it was the last one or one before that, but you talked about how they were lowering the requirements to where we could get seeds shipped to us based on the Tetra levels, I believe it is. And it was at like 0.3%. But I learned a lot about that, reading through some stuff. But then when I watched your video, it literally, to a T, you explain it. And I love how you always have other people on with you. And you guys just explain it so thoroughly. I know it should be getting more views, but YouTube doesn't do a good job recommending us. So we have to recommend our own community. Right now, Bitcoin's at 50.9% for long-short ratio to 49.04% short, 17.63 billion long, 16.96 billion short. So there's about a 700 million discrepancy here if you go down. But remember yesterday, the good thing, and we have to remember this, and if you weren't here yesterday, you got to remember that. Well, here's some big news too. I'll read to you in a sec. But this is the big stuff. This was huge yesterday. Over 73% of 24-hour liquidations. I put this out at 1:55 p.m. yesterday before the next run-up. So over 73% of the 24-hour liquidations were from short positions yesterday in the 24 hours leading into it. So that was beautiful. Bob Bertner, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. Much respect for that. Puza, welcome in, says, Tom, can you take a look at XLM? What we have to hold today is the move for today done. Absolutely, we'll look at it right after I go back to the charts. Just for you, my friend. It'll be just for you, I promise. So for the XRP community, there was a little bit of breaking news yesterday. There was Ripple's RLUSD gains regulatory approval in Abu Dhabi. Official clearance from FSRA for institutional use. That is considered real-world adoption. So Ripple has officially secured formal regulatory recognition from the Abu Dhabi Financial Services Regulatory Authority, FSRA, for its fiat reference token, RLUSD. This isn't just talk. This is official regulatory clearance that allows licensed financial institutions to legally use RLUSD for regulated activities within the Abu Dhabi Global Markets, ADGM. This is a concrete step towards real-world institutional adoption for Ripple in the broader digital asset space. We're seeing the future unfold right before our eyes. What does this mean for the future of finance and XRP in your opinion? And I always love to know. I want everybody to please pay attention to this chart, man. This is the alt season. Every single year we've done it, 18, 21, and now 26. And if this happens, look at that expansion that's going to happen. This would be the equivalent, just so you know, this is the equivalent of about, if you want to put it on paper, anywhere between a 7 and 8x return on average. If you have the right alt token, basically the ones that are utility filled and things like that. So just pay attention to where we're at in that regard. The last 4 times Bitcoin has hit this uptrend, there's just so much information. And this is when it was at 87,497. I shared it a couple days ago. We bounced off it perfectly in the last several years. So that's a 12-year trend line support. And if you know, you know. Going back to 2013, 14, every time we hit that uptrend, 2013, 2016, 2021, now 2025, we've bounced off it at a historic rate. Before I get into XLM, I still want to look at the long-short ratio for XRP in the last 24 hours because it's vital information, I believe. 49.66% going long, 50.34% going short, 2.21 billion long, 2.15 billion short. So there's more money to be made if XRP goes up than goes down. Not a lot, but there's definitely more liquidations going up than down for XRP, which is a great sign. Ethereum, 51.15% going long, 51.5 or 15%, yeah, going long. 48.85% going short, 13.36 billion long, 12.76 billion short. Amazing that more people are going short on XRP over Bitcoin and Ethereum. There's about a $600 million surplus for Ethereum going up. But remember, we took out an extraordinary amount of shorts yesterday. It was a large amount. About 73% of all liquidations yesterday were by short traders. And then I believe XLM, is it on here? I believe they added it. Could be wrong. Yeah, I thought they did. Beautiful. So XLM, 49.47% going long, 50.53% going short through the exchanges. 118.15 million long, 120.67 million short. So very small discrepancy. It's even getting tighter now. Very small discrepancy, but this is good information that you should not take for granted. And you should go look for it for yourself too when you're not watching me. It's something to continue to look at. We also have to look at the heat liquidation map, which I completely forgot to look at in the last couple of days. Let's see, I should have it in here still so that I don't have to go do anything fancy. Oh, here it is. Bitcoin liquidation map. So CoinAnk is where you want to go for the heat liquidation maps. Go to the liquidation heat map. I suggest switching it to Magma. You don't have to, but that's my own personal preference. We're coming through the upper liquidity boxes as we speak in the monthly. Still have more up here at 93, which is where I thought we were targeting for this move, around 93,400, as you remember. If we come back down, the good news was is we took out, and I talked about it yesterday. A lot of people were talking about that 88K, 88,300 liquidity. We took it out yesterday, twice. Between the overnight hours the day before and then the early morning hours yesterday, we took it out. I was not worried about that level. I was very clear about it yesterday. Oh, Rejuvenated, thanks for being in town for 3+ months with the, or your second month with the Dusty Datos Crypto News. Says, what website is that? Okay, so this is coinank.com, and this is the heat liquidation map. And then for the Bitcoin long short, you go to coinglass.com, scroll down past these sections, and come into the exchanges Bitcoin, the exchanges long short ratio, and then you can switch it right here and go to a bunch of different tokens. I maintain it with the basic ones for viability with our community. Liquidation heat map, you can go anywhere between 6 months out for Bitcoin, but it doesn't work. It always freezes at 6 months, so I like to keep it about 1 month out. So with an updated poll here, we can see we're in the strong liquidity box. Oh, you're welcome, Rejuvenated. And Bob Burtner, thanks for not only being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. As always, very, very appreciated for that pay it forward mentality, but also a $20 super chat this morning. Unbelievably generous. That's the $20 I'm going to donate to the church when I go. So you help give back to my church, so I appreciate it. Since we follow Bitcoin, does that indicate a top for wave 4? 107K most likely if we do this properly. Absolutely it does. 100%. 100%. if we come up and we do this properly. That would be Bitcoin coming up to 107 to back test the rising wedge, which would be a perfect synonymous push for wave 4. Doesn't mean we have to come up there. This is another threshold at $2.12. Just like at $2 for XRP, it's going to have to get over and hold. So this is absolutely another step up in the right direction. You know, no mistakes there being made. It's a great step up. XLM is outperforming as we expected. XRP and XDC today up 5.2% to 23.3 cents. The exact target I gave yesterday for the first layer. And then if we got through this 25.3 cent, this exact layer that we gave out yesterday for the first push. For anybody who was here, this was the exact target from yesterday. If it holds this, then all of a sudden we start making the expansion out to 25.6 cents. It's that simple. It's that simple. And then max capacity here, which I'm hopeful for, would be to come over the top, and XLM would be up near 30 cents. So if this descending wedge plays out like it looks like it is, that's a beautiful descending wedge it's breaking out of. Perfectly, it back tested it. And we were very excited about it yesterday when it did it. Looked like a tailor-made move, and we were on top of it from the jump. It's so important in this time not to have emotion. This little liquidity box I drew when we were still in the descending wedge, there's a lot of movement here. A lot of buyers and sellers will be in this box. It'll determine whether we're bullish or bearish. But you want to have that liquidity box there either way, because that's a nice zone to come up through. So no second guessing here. Everything's streamlined. You don't have to sit through the ads. Nothing. No paid advertisements. No paid anything. You know, so there's no twisting the content. The only reason you'll see an ad when this live goes out to everybody, I need YouTube to push it, and I need to make a little bit of revenue so I can sustain. I do count a lot on the members of Tom's Army and the ones who do the super chat so that I don't have to do paid sponsorships and all that crap you see everybody with my channel size. Because I get it shoved down my throat by so many different people who want me to sponsor something. There might be a day when there's something that I like that I'll sponsor, and that's fine. But it hasn't happened yet. I hold no... If somebody gives me something that's useful and it makes sense, I have no problem being, oh, hey, this show is sponsored by X, Y, and Z for 10 seconds. But it hasn't happened yet. I'm not going to promote some bull crap for everybody or some cheap token or some other stuff. So if you want something, if you want to be a part of this program and you want to sponsor my program and it fits, I'm always open to it. And I've been for 5 years, but I've yet to have that opportunity that I'm like, that's the right move. So until it happens, I can't say the show is sponsored by anybody but Tom's Army and the members of this community who super chat, pay it forward, and come in here every single day. They're the ones who sponsor this show. We're for you, by you, as I used to say back in 21, and nothing changed. So somebody beat my door down with the proper sponsorship, and you never know. But it's got to make sense. What I would love is somebody to sponsor me with some kind of technical suit or suite to where it makes this stuff a little bit more visually appealing. Maybe somebody could sponsor me so I can make cartoon videos of my content. That's what I really want. You know, if there's animation out there that would be willing to sponsor this channel so that I could do above and beyond with the animatronics. That's what I want. That's what I'm actually holding out for. So if somebody's out there that has that viability, please send me a message at strutrugali@gmail.com. strutrugali@gmail.com. That's strutrugali@gmail.com. I don't know what that means, but I came up with it my first day of YouTube, and I just kept it. So that's what I'm looking for. So if that fits anybody in my audience, send me a message. Send me a message. But other than that, it's going to be very difficult for somebody who's on a wallet, on an exchange, a certain token. I get it every single day, and I tell them to basically go F themselves. Because I'm not doing cheap advertisements. But anyhow, that's what I want in 2026. I want somebody to approach me that can help the animatronics part of this show, to where I can start doing 3D content. You know, I think it would be really cool. That's my motivation for 2026. But yes, Crypto Crew, the trend is indeed our friend. The trend is indeed our friend here this morning. For XRP, the best thing we can look at here is we want to go into the 30-minute, guys. We want to see. We're on the 20-day. It's a perfect back test right now. If it holds, we're oversold in the 30-minute, which is phenomenal. Remember yesterday we found a bullish divergence in the 3-hour on HBAR and a couple others, where the RSI, the stochastic RSI, the stock RSI, broke down and it was alleviating the pressure as the price was going up. That is an extreme bullish divergence, which led us to believe that we were going to have a rally last night into today, which we did. Now we have to do our due diligence again, and every day is a new day. It's a new battle. Today, the weekly candle closes. Today, on Sunday, we usually have a little bit of volatility to the downside to see if we can hold. And would I be surprised if all of a sudden today, the entire market, as the USA is waking up, if you're in leverage, close it out probably. I'm just saying. Would it surprise me if we had about a 2.7% pullback and retested this move up? Not particularly. As long as we hold over $2, it'd be great. But what I really want to see is expansion out and then a back test at 212 to play this out. And then once this happens, if this played out like this, it would be unbelievably successful for all of us. Some will be like, well, why would it break down after it comes up there? Well, we're in a 5-weight Elliott wave. And yes, the Elliott wave's only a theory, but if you teach yourself it, you'll understand that it is a little bit more than a theory. It's a play on numbers. The trading algorithms support it, and the charting oftentimes supports the dynamic. Matthew, good morning, along with Silver Days. Thank you both so much for your continued support in here. Commenting, watching, assuming you like this and share it. We've got 98 likes out of 121 people watching right now. That is phenomenal. That's phenomenal. Everybody's doing fantastic this morning as far as showing support. I would love to see this not contract, though, like I said, and go up to the 211, 212 and back test that area. We don't need to come back to 201. We've already done that. That's just if we were to break down a little bit here today, which I'm not calling for. I just want everybody to be aware if it goes down in that way, that's what would happen. Everybody who holds XRP with us from 34 cents, 40 cents. If you have 10,000 tokens today, it's been a $730 day for us. Just with XRP. Doesn't seem like it should be because it's only up 3.62%. But when your 10,000 tokens isn't worth $3,500 anymore and it's worth 20 grand, you know, it says a lot. We get a lot of uneducated people that rip on XRP, which is their own prerogative. But the farther this runs on everybody, and the more expansion we get over the years, the more people are going to criticize us. You know, the common denominator. Miss out on something, and the easiest thing to do is take a shot at somebody else, which is fine. We want the shot taken at us. It's okay. We can hold our heads above water. We've been through this for many years. It's 2026 now. I started this March 24th of 2021. Almost 5 years now, and I've never missed a day of doing this. Never. Even during medical emergencies, broken bones, holidays, you name it. I'm always here. Always here. I want to thank my Colloidal Silver for helping keep me mostly on the right path as well, because Colloidal Silver, you'll find yourself not really being as sick as everybody else, and it's a pretty weird thing. But I can't talk about that. They might ban me for medical misinformation. Andrew Trimis, good morning. 1970 Legend says hello to Days. And again, 1970 Legends, thanks for those 10 gifted subs. I really appreciate that to the community. Thank you for another great, informative, and interesting live again. I think in 2026, the lives have been so fire in comparison to my first 4 years, I can't explain it. Something changed in me, in the positive, and in the way that I push this content out. It's legitimately changed. Now, I got to get rolling here because it's 10:36. I only got about 10 minutes left this morning. I got to go to church. It's my soul cleanser. HBAR's looking great. HBAR's looking great. What I would expect to happen here, why not? Why wouldn't this happen? Ready? Let's just try to go ahead real quick. We like to stay ahead. So you got the 20-day crossing the 50, right? Crossing the 100. It's eking its way up. So you're going to expect to see that red 20-day line. You're going to get this 200 probably coming across. You're going to get a golden cross. You push this out, you back test, and then you fire if it works. So that's probably how I would expect this to play out. Come up to that 13.3 area, back test, as we have the golden cross forming in the 4-hourly. It hasn't happened yet. We identified it in the 3-hourly yesterday, that bullish divergence, which absolutely paid off. Harder to see now because it pulled back up. But it was phenomenal. That divergence, price was going up at the end, and the RSI started correcting, and it was perfect. Perfect tailor-made movement. So that's what I would anticipate if this plays out. I don't think there's any way to just come past this area when we do. Let's say it comes up true. I still think it's going to have to bounce here where you're going to have a golden cross form. Well, that looks like ass. OSS. Now I'm going to have to delete it, so what the hell was the point of that? But a golden cross. And we got a few minutes left together, but I want to do something for the first time in the new year. If you guys have been a part of this community for 5 years, I think you know what's coming. When we're sad, when we're happy, when there's turmoil, when we don't know what we're doing, ladies and gentlemen, I know what time it is. Do you know what time it is? I petrified the audience back in April and May of 2021 when I only had a few hundred people, and they said, there's no way you'll do this when you get 20,000 plus people. Well, now we're only about 600 away from 50,000, and let me tell you, I am still no shame Tom. Ladies and gentlemen, I know what time it is. Do you know what time it is? Ladies and gentlemen, the sunny days are here again. Oh, sunny days. Oh, what a day. Oh, sunny days. Oh, what a day. I wear glasses 'cause I can't see a motherfucking thing. Happy days. Oh, happy days. Oh, what a day. Oh, happy days. Oh, what a day. XRP will reign supreme. Let's just not get caught in the FUD. Oh, we're gonna crash, and we did, and we will, and we won't, and we can, and we will, and we won't, and we did, and we won't, and we can, and we did, and we won't, and we will. Oh yeah. Stay true. Stay blessed. Bitcoin, the biggest Ponzi scheme of them all. Remember, rest in peace. 2032. Might not get there. But it's going to happen eventually. Man, the sun's pretty happy today. It looks pretty cool. I like that. That cleansed my soul this morning. I really wanted to do sunny days. I expect some contraction here this morning, though. No doubt about it. I still expect some contraction. You can't get around it. We've had too much of a bullish spike here. It hasn't been a crazy bullish spike, but we do like to confirm these movements. And if we take anything from XDC, it might have tailor-made this next move for us in real time. So we'll see. We'll see. If you're on leverage, please be careful. I'm going to get ready to go to church. It's been a blessing, an honor, a privilege. It's been exciting. It's been all inspiring. But we'll be back tonight. I'll be doing a 60-second short. Maybe even when I'm walking to church. Because I'm insane. So I have to keep working. So, a lot of stuff still to be done. We've only hit the tip of the iceberg for 2026. But I believe if we follow the narrative properly, this entire community is going to be blessed beyond belief. And again, I thank all of you for being here this morning. It's been a tremendous live, filled with a lot of fun, a lot of excitement, a lot of good people. And I can't thank you enough. Again, my directive to you would be, if you are in leverage, close it. And watch this contraction this morning, because if we're going to stay true, we're probably going to have to come down and retest pretty firmly either the 30-day at 12.4, and this is just HBAR, or in the 2-hourly. I mean, you could theoretically come back and retest this breakout area. Now, there's no guarantee that we have to come down, obviously. We still have an expansive in the 4-hourly. It's just, I don't like people that play dangerous. I like them to be in spot. So, and I like how Logic Patriot, welcome in. It has been a while. Wow. So glad to see you in here. Oh, it's been a while for sunny days, yes, but it's good to see you in here, too. I haven't seen your comment in a little bit, but I know you've been in here through the analytics. Devin, thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 3 years with the XRP. Diamond Hands Bands and being a very trusted mod in here and in the Telegram. Mark Caston, thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. Mr. Carter, Tony Carter, hashtag M2C Mother Second Choice. My brother from another mother in the Outback in Australia. Hopefully you're staying safe. Some of the greatest music I've heard in decades. Too bad my files got corrupted when I changed over. But if you ever send me them again through my email, I'd be very, very gracious. Very, very gracious to keep sharing it with the audience. I certainly miss those segments. I really do. But thank you so much, Mr. Carter. Hashtag M2C in the audience for anybody who goes back in the way back. The way back machine. Kyle Kupiak, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. Andrew, thanks for tuning in this morning. I love it. The Cannabis Podcast said it's called Confidence. And Cape Cod Kyle from Massachusetts, as I used to say Florida, but now he's also in Florida, believe it or not. So I got to go, though. I got to go to church, be blessed, and I will